Mean absolute deviation. The mean absolute deviation tells how far away the data values are from the mean. A small mean absolute deviation means that most values are close to the mean. A large mean absolute deviation means that the data values are more spread out. Pause the video and read the directions in the box to figure out how to calculate mean absolute deviation. When you're done, unpause the video and we will go over the answers. Now, they suggest using counters, but it's actually okay not to. When I calculate mean absolute deviation, I write the words down. Mean absolute deviation, and then I write mean again. I do this because the beautiful part about math is that when they tell you to do something, it's usually the actual steps to do it. So to find the mean absolute deviation, you first find the mean, then you find the deviation from the mean, then you convert it to its absolute value, and then you find the mean again. So these are literally the steps. So if you ever forget, just look at the title of what you're doing, and that will actually give you the directions. So the very first thing we're going to do is find the mean of our data. For question number 1, ages of people on a tennis team in years. We have 9, 12, 10, 8, 11. Now, the beautiful part here is that they actually calculated the mean for you. Now, if they didn't, we would have added up the years and divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that would have given us 10 years. So the mean is 10. Step 2, we need to figure out how far away each of these data points deviates from the mean. So we're going to do 9 take away 10. Move this up a little bit. Sorry. 9 take away 10. 12 take away 10, 8 take away 10, 11 take away 10. That's -1, 2, -2, and 1. So I know that half of my values are above the mean and half of my values are below the mean. This is why subtracting and finding the deviation is important, because sometimes your values might be more below or more above. Okay? Next, step 3, we want to convert all of these values to their absolute values. And we know this from previous chapters. -1 becomes positive, 2 stays positive, -2 becomes positive, and 1 stays 1. Okay? And so we have, this is over here, -1, 2, -2, 1, okay? That's the distances from the mean. Now, actually these are supposed to be the absolute values, sorry. Next, step 4, we want to find the mean again. So 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 6, and then we're going to divide that by 5. Oh, you know what? I forgot here. I'm sorry. 10 take away 10 equals 0. And so I have to add a 0 there. That's still 6 divided by 5 equals 1.2. Okay, so the absolute deviation, the mean absolute deviation is 1.2. So what this says is that on average, each of the ages deviates from the mean 1.2 years. Okay? So as you saw, I forgot a data point, which I'm always good about going back and checking. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just make sure that you don't make a mistake like I did there. Make sure you count your points before you start calculating, because you can do a human error very quickly with all these numbers. All right, let's try number 2. Okay, Sam's test scores. All right, we're going to find the mean absolute deviation, and we're going to write the word mean again. And we're going to work backwards. So here we have Sam's test scores: 86, 71, 92, 84, 76, and 95. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the step 1, they added up the values, they got the sum, and they divided by 6. And that gave them the mean of 84. Now, step 2, we have to figure out how far away each of these test scores deviates from the mean. So we have 86, 71, 92, 84, 76, and 95. And we're going to subtract, 84 from each one. Okay, and that is going to give us 2, -13, 8, 0, -8, and 9. So 2 of our scores were below the mean, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of our scores were above the mean. Step 4, we're going to convert these to their absolute values. So this is going to be 2, 13, 8, 0, 8, and 9. Next, we're going to calculate the mean. So when I add all of these values up, I'm going to get 40. And then I divide 40 by 6 because I have 6 data points. When I do that, and you can use a calculator, you're going to get 6.6 repeating. So the mean absolute deviation is 6.6 repeating. Question number 3. Again, we're finding the mean absolute deviation, and then the mean again. All right. So, prices of dinner menu items: 15, 10, 13, 19, 20, 12, 9, and 14. So we would have added this up and we would have gotten the sum. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were 8 values. So after you added these up, you would have divided by 8 and you would have gotten the mean, which is 14. Now, we're going to figure out, that was step 1, find the mean. Step 2, we're going to figure out how far away each price deviates from the mean. So we have $15, 10, 13, 19, 20, 12, 9, and 14. And the mean's 14, so we're going to subtract 14. Okay, so the mean absolute deviation, sorry, the difference is each point deviates 1, -4, -1, 5, 6, -2, 5, -5, and 0. Step 3, we're going to convert these to their absolute values. 1, 4, 1, 5, 6, 2, 5, 0. And now, step 4, we're going to find the mean of these numbers. So when I add all of these numbers up, I get 24. There are 8 of them, so I divide by 8, which gives me 3. So the mean absolute deviation is 3. That means on average, each price deviates from the mean an average of $3. Question number 4. Daily low temperatures in a city: 45, 39, 40, 52, 44. So we're going to find the mean absolute deviation. And again, to help myself out, I'm going to write the word mean again. So step 1, we find the mean, okay? Which means that we would add this up and get a sum, and divide by 5, and our mean is 44. So that's nice because, again, they did that for us, less work for us. And now step 2, we have to figure out how far away each of these points deviates from the mean. So we have 45, 39, 40, 52, 44. And we're going to subtract 44 from each data point. All right, so 1, -5, 4, 8, 0. So only one of our points falls below the mean or below the average. 4 of our points are above the average. Step 3, we're going to convert these to their absolute values. 1, 5, 4, 8, 0. And last, we're going to figure out the mean of those values. So when I add all of these up, I get 18, and I'm going to divide that by 5, and that will give me 3.6. And that's how you calculate mean absolute deviation. Now, on your assignments, you will have to figure out the mean, but this is just showing you how to do the deviation absolute value part, and then the mean again. All right, good luck.